Hello and welcome back. My name's Glenn Archer, and this is the beginning of my what's going to be my video log of my 1950 Craft Riviera renovation. So I've scheduled 18 months to do this work on this boat. We have the intentions of undertaking a 5200 bottom in the spirit of Dan Danenberg's work. We've brought a lot of materials to help us achieve that. Obviously the usability of this boat is high on the list for me and my family, and so this boat will receive a 5200 bottom, and then obviously we'll have to set ourselves out from there. As mentioned, I bought this boat from Minneapolis, had it shipped to me here in New Zealand. This boat has had two owners since 1983. I've tracked both the owners down. It's the 7th hull of the Riviera 20 that was built, and this is the boat that I want to restore for use in the Rotorua Lakes district here in New Zealand. This boat has the original MLB 158 horsepower engine, flathead 6. The engine certainly is in a state of repair. It's had some water in it or been left in a moist environment, so we're not too sure what's going to happen there, whether we face into a restoration or look to re-go from there. So some photos on the back here of where the boat was past its inspection into New Zealand. Fair to say, delivering a 68-year-old wooden boat into New Zealand with our MAF and our sort of biosecurity is quite the challenge, and this posed a few challenges for my shipping agent in Auckland. So, but this is it, 1950 Craft Riviera 20. Just a fantastic looking boat, just looks drop dead gorgeous on the water. Seen them only in imagery of course, but this boat, even on a ratty old trailer, looks pretty fantastic, and we can't wait to start our way forward. So let's have a closer look and see what we're up for, and what our restoration will probably take on. This boat sat inside from 1993 right through to 2018. And passed and was sold and purchased when the owner passed on. This boat was, as I say, refinished in 1993, and the chromework was never reinstalled. But the great news is the window frames, the windscreens, all the chromework, the lamp, all the chromework, spotlight, shroud for the navigation lights, flagpole holders, every piece of chrome is present and was stacked in this boat when I purchased it, and I've taken them away from the boat because they're just starting to get a little bit hard to replace, so I want to keep that. So the interior in this boat has been refinished at some point in time, and fair to say not in keeping with the original. We've brought some fantastic product into New Zealand with us when we bought the boat from Boat Connections, been really helpful there, and so we're looking to get this back into factory spec as it was built back in 1950. The engine here is the original 158 horsepower engine, still running the original 6-volt system. 2 spark plugs out of this engine, and it's fair to say that it's got some moisture in a couple of the pistons, so not too sure what we're going to do with this engine. It would be great to see this engine stay in the boat, but look, for practicality we might have to find an intermediate measure just to see how we go. Restoring this in New Zealand, some long way away from America, will be quite the challenge. So, but look, the interior is there. There's a couple of bits missing. There's a lens off one of the gauges missing, but look, the steering wheel, the throttle, the shifter, the linkage, all of it is pretty good. It's had a refit in here at some stage, as I say, so we've got a bit of work to do in here, but all honesty, this boat, just every time I see it, just looks better and better and better. The hull is really strong. It's still got the original bottom. It's got a couple of pockets of dry rot in it, and we'll see those. You know, these boats were built with only sort of 6 to 8 years of lifespan, and it's fair to say that these butt joints that they put down these deck boards covering, or edge boards, you know, really wasn't designed to go 70 years. So we've seen some moisture ingress in there. So maybe a reset of this joint to settle that down. But of course, as we run back, we know where these boats start to give a bit of grief, and this one is given that had the same thing. So a bit of moisture in here, it's going to pick up this top transom board. It's going to pick up this top side plank, pretty rotten, and it's going to pick up these two corner boards here. And as we run down, the rub strip sits exactly the same. These two boards are going to need to come off and be rebuilt. They just had it. So, but look, you know, 68 years old. Designed to last probably not more than 6 or 8 or 10 years. It's pretty good, really, and pretty exciting. So, once again, starboard aft corner, same rot in both places. Looks like the top side plank is okay, but definitely a little bit of soft in that top transom plank. But all in honesty, you know, probably in keeping with 68 years of age, pretty good. Moving up the starboard or the port side, sorry. Once again, bit of dry rot where they flush butted these joints. Just not designed to be done this way. Well, not designed to last when done this way, but you know, the boats weren't built to last. So, but other than that, most of the hull is in pretty good condition. It's going to need a sanding back, some refinish, and varnish top coats to get it looking how it needs to look. The objective of this build is very much to do a user boat. We have some fantastic lake districts around us, and we really want to make the use of this boat. So this boat's going to be put together and restored in a way that we can use it. And so we're going to make an effort, but we're not going to build in a concourse d'elegance type boat. King plank's pretty good. The decks on this boat were not refinished in 1993. It was just the hull that was refinished, the hull sides that were refinished in 1993. So the top sides of this boat were refinished at some point previous. And I've tried to track the owners back, and I've got to 1981, and it may well be that it was finished somewhere after 1981, but I haven't got any certainty at this stage here. But as we run the camera back and we see the lines of these boats, you really start to understand that these things, with the windscreens on, sitting in the water, just a beautiful piece of work. And this 20-foot hull shows it all. It's stretched out in the boot. It's got a long foredeck. These boats are just such a superior looking boat versus the smaller 17 and 18 foot versions. But they come with their own challenge, of course. The horsepower was one of them, and this boat will probably lack a bit of that at 158. But let's have a look underneath the waterline and see what we've got under here. So this boat here, as I say, has got the original bottom. It's quite funny that when you stand in this boat and you look down through the floor from the inside, there's just so many holes. You can see the outside in so many different places. So this thing would leak quite badly. So I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to get inside and we'll have a look around inside, eh?